as you can see from the enclosed instructions, a trip to Lee's engine shed was quite a daunting task. It was over 1.5 miles walk long, and for little legs that's quite a long way to go. There was a bus service, but not everybody had money for buses in those days. So the journey began at Oldham Mump Station for the simple reason that Lee's station had already closed. So there's no passenger service to Lee's, so the nearest one was from Mumps. So that's where we're going to begin our journey. Following the instructions as laid down by my trusty locomotive engine shed direction booklet by Lieutenant Fuller, this is the starting place to get to Oldham Lee's engine sheds. So this is Oldham Mump Station, and from here we're going to take rather a long walk and get ourselves up to the engine shed. So are you ready? Pin back your lug holes and away we go. Well, that's the fastest 1.5 miles I've gone as a kid heading for a shed. So now we're turning on to the final stage of the approach to Lee's engine shed, which is St John Street, and that's where we're heading right now. And now we're on it. We're just passing the what was the Devonshire Arms here, which would have been frequented by many of the old railway men from Lee's, I would imagine. The local was actually the Grapes, which is a little bit further on, past the station. But I'm sure many who work this way would have called in at the Devy to quaff one or two after the shift. So the excitement is building now. We're almost there. There's a petrol station on the right, just coming up, and this was where they used to house the LNWR horses. This was a stable for the horses that used to work in the goods yard at Lee's station. And you see that building in the distance there, but there's a man on the roof at the moment. So that was the old stables. This little path across here, just at the side of the bridge there, that was the entrance into the goods yard at Lee's. As you can see, the bridge is coming up now. And this was where the line was. This line went to Oldham. This was part of the Delft Donkey line here. And this is the bridge on St John Street. If you look carefully, you can see where the iron railings have been put What they did, there's a lot of smoke generated from the station, which was just below here. There's the line. And what they did was they put some posts up here, and then they covered it all over with wooden boarding to keep the smoke away. I guess there's been complaints from the houses around here. And those two houses there, way back, that used to be a public house. It's now two residential houses. But this was the site of Leigh Station. The platforms were down here, and the engine shed was located over in this direction. I'll show you a little bit clearer when we get on a little bit more. There's not much remains round here now, but luckily we got photographic evidence, and I know this engine shed very well. That's where I began my train spotting, believe it or not. And the only thing still extant from the engine shed is this post here. This is the post that used to house the gate, and the gate went down here over to the engine shed, which will be behind these houses here. And there was a path also that led down to the station itself. So this would be the way to the engine shed, which would have been located where those new houses are now. And I'll show you the actual location of the engine shed soon. Again, this line's been turned into a bridle path, come walk, come cycle path, or whatever you want to call it. But that was the location of Leigh Station, and just at the bottom of that beautiful elliptical arch there, that was actually the platform level. So I would now be standing on the platform here. This would be the platform, and the line would drop down here for the trains to come in. And the home signal, it's very unusual, this was on the right hand side of this, so that the signal man, the engine driver, could see it ready for the off, and when the peg went up, off he went. But it was a very weird position to have it, because some of the trains had to come into the tunnel here, so they had to put the off signal on the other side of the tunnel. Right, let's go and find the site of the engine shed itself now. So we're going back up the path now, back to the gate post, and if I just turn around I'll show you. All this area was lines, all on the other side of the path. That was all lines. There was a warehouse there and everything. LNWR warehouse, all gone now. But let's go and find the location of the actual shed itself. So we just walked past the post, and the first street on the right we're going to turn into, it's called Grief Street, and Pine Way is the one that we're looking for. It's not too far down here. It was a very big shed, Leigh's. I was lucky to have started my interest with the railways at this shed. It was relatively easy to get into, although I must admit I did get chased out on the first day I went. So the next street on the left is what we want. Of course, all this area, this would have been where the water tower was. And this would have been the site of the shed itself. All around this area, so like I said, it was a big shed. So this first and second house here would have been the location of the shed. So I want to thank you all for listening. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll be doing another one again soon. Bye for now.